Hello, and welcome to #RecTalk through NIRSA. Today, we'll be talking about training your staff utilizing technology. My name is Chris Crume, and I am the Director of the Aquatic Center at Denison University. Before we get started, there are two things that I'd like you to get out of today's training. First, I'd like you to be able to list some tools and resources that are required to set up a digital onboarding program. Second, I'd like to be able to have you discuss with your IT department about different technologies available to you to enhance your student learning. So as we get into this presentation, there's 4 key questions to consider. What am I trying to accomplish? What resources are available? What content is important? And was this training effective? First, what am I trying to accomplish? Figure out what are the goals of this training. Really, what do I want my students to know? What do I want them to learn? For us, when we developed our digital onboarding training, there were 3 things we wanted to accomplish. We wanted to maximize our training time. So this digital onboarding platform allows our students to get a jump start on the onboarding process by learning the basics before they even start their first day or have their in-person orientation. It also allows us to do more with less. Being a small program, when we train, our staff training resources are very limited, but training digitally allowed us to actually accomplish more in a shorter amount of time. Instead of having a 5-hour in-person training, now we were able to reduce that to a 3-hour in-person training, but really focus on more. And that leads me to the next thing, which is unique in-person time. By using this digital training platform to teach policies and procedures, we were actually able to create a more balanced team and do more team building and hands-on training than we used to be able to do when we did the policies and procedures in person. Second, what resources are available to you? Try to figure out what you have and what you need. So for us, we had to start looking from the ground up. We'd never done anything like this before. 3 things that we thought of. First, what audio-video equipment did we need? What resources did we have there? Do you have access to an HD camera? Are you going to use videos as part of your training? How about video editing software? It's great that you've got the video content. Now, how do you edit that to make it look like a really smooth, slick presentation that your students are going to be receptive to? Again, take stock of what you want to accomplish. What are your goals for this training? For us, we wanted to not only talk about policies and procedures, but we wanted to be able to show some of our policies, some of our procedures, some of the different things around our building that our students would need to know before they even came, step foot on the pool deck. Quizzes. Are you going to incorporate knowledge checks? How are you going to assess what's going on with this training? How are you going to assess knowledge retention? For us, we wanted to incorporate knowledge checks not only right at the end, but then also in the future as well. And then a digital software that you can utilize with your students. What is available to you? For us, that started with talking with our IT department to partner up and use the tools and resources that we had available at Denison University. So my first call was to our IT department, asking them, here's what I want to accomplish. What do we have available? And they actually pushed me towards Google Classroom, which is part of the G Suite that we use here at Denison. The third thing that you have to determine is what content is important. So for us, that was determining what you can and what you cannot do in a digital format. So for us, we wanted to have consistency across the board in the content delivery for our policies and procedures. So instead of using us as the trainers to talk at our staff, we used a digital onboarding method that was highly interactive that allowed the students to learn at their own pace on our policies, our procedures, and our rules. So now instead of having that glassy-eyed look that students get when we talk about policies and procedures, we now had something that was more interactive and it allowed them to learn at their own pace. Again, for us, demonstrations and demos were important content for us to get out there. Not just, talking about it, but showing it as well. We know that people learn in various different ways. This is just another way that we can accomplish that. So by using videos, we demonstrated how-to guides, common situations, and different skills that students could learn before we even brought them in to practice that. And then again, for us, emergency action plans were important content. We all know that emergency action plans can be hard to teach. So by using a digital resource to not only talk about, but show these concepts, we were able to spend more time training in that practical skill environment once they'd seen it and done it as part of the digital content. And then the last question that we asked ourselves is, was this training effective? So again, you got to use assessment to check the knowledge acquisition and the retention. So did our students actually get the knowledge and the skills that we were looking at? We used immediate quizzes to test and see what information they gained. Did they get what we wanted them to get? Where did they trip up? So that we could guide a little bit of the discussion in our in-person trainings towards those areas where they struggled with our digital content. That also allowed us to look at the content that we wanted to put into the next iteration and say, okay, we didn't do well on getting this. Let's work on that for the next presentation. Knowledge retention. Again, it's important that they gain the skills and the knowledge right then and there. But what about 3 months down the line? What about the end of the semester? What about the end of the school year? So it's important to not only check now, but check later and follow up with quizzes, drills, and other knowledge checks to see if that's information is retained over time, and how do you check and make sure. For us, that was assessing with a quiz right after, 3 months in, at the end of the first semester, the beginning of the second semester, the middle of the second semester, and at the end of the school year. And then the last thing about effectiveness is time efficiency. Was the time used efficiently? Did it create more hassle than it was worth? Did it free up more time for creative learning or for team building or for other types of exercises? Look at your time investment, because again, if it doesn't make sense, it may not be worth it for you to do. So to review, 4 key questions when you're thinking about digital onboarding processes. What am I trying to accomplish with this training? What resources are available to me? What content is important? And was this training effective? Thank you everybody for taking a few minutes to join me for this presentation. Like and subscribe to Rec Chat on YouTube, or follow us on Instagram for more content like this. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to chat with me more about this, you can find me at crumec@denison.edu. Again, thank you, and y'all have a great day.